Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the Mindset to Manifest podcast. We are officially in 2025. This is so far the best year that I've had. I know we're just now into February, but in terms of my mindset, in terms of how I feel about circumstances, how I understand manifestation, the goals and aspirations that I have, and my self-concept as it relates to that has been the best by far in all of my 28 years. And I truly credit that to how I have upgraded my self-concept and poured confidence into myself and truly invested in how I relate to the world around me, how I interpret signs, synchronicities, all of my belief systems, and so on and so forth. So today's episode, I am going to be talking about planning. And planning as it relates to manifestation is a little bit different than how we normally plan in the regular unconscious world that many of us have been conditioned and raised in, right? A lot of the time it's January 1st. Everybody's like, what are you working on? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to accomplish this year? And while that's really great, and I do encourage being able to dream and having new goals and new aspirations every year because you will evolve every year, I don't want you to get too invested in the planning of it. Sometimes what happens is we get all this excitement, all of this momentum, and we use it to plan, right? We write our goals down and we start talking about it with everybody, and we're sharing our desires with our friends and family, and talking about how, I really want to do this. I really want to lose this weight, and I want to go to this country this year, and I want to take this type of vacation, and I want to, start this new hobby, or I want to get a different position in my workplace, and so on and so forth, right? Most of the time we're either chasing love, money, or health. That's kind of the typical human experience. Those are oftentimes what we're motivated by. And our plans really look like, I'm going to start going to the gym, and I'm going to go get on this diet that I just heard about, and I'm going to, make a list of my accomplishments in the past year at my workplace so I can get a promotion or a raise, and so on and so forth. And a lot of that planning, a lot of the energy that we put into planning, I am going to recommend to each and every one of you listening, instead of putting energy into the plan, instead of investing in what you think you have to do, right? Because the physical human world really conditions us into doing. I want you to take that energy of planning and put it into, who do you want to be this year? If you want to be healthy, what does healthy mean to you? Does it mean balanced? Does it mean you have tons of energy? Does it mean that you have a really positive attitude about life and about your health goals? If you do reach a weight loss goal, how are you going to feel? Are you going to be really celebrating it? Is it going to be like a really big deal? Or is it going to be like, oh yeah, I knew I could do that. Of course I could do that. It was so easy. If you are working on your finances, right? Like, what's your mindset around it? How do you relate to money? Is money a struggle for you? Do you feel like it's historically been hard? You have to put a lot of hard work and effort into making money. Is it something that you feel you're finding yourself a lot of stress surrounding the topic of money? Or are you the person who money just comes easily to you? It's so effortless. It's so fun. It's fun to make money, and it's easy to make money, and you're good at it. And you're good at it because you're talented and you're skilled and you're just an incredible person. So of course money comes to you easily. Why wouldn't money come easily to you if you're so capable? If you're manifesting marriage or partnership or, any type of changes in your relationship status, who are you in relationship? Are you a very kind and generous lover? Are you someone who is like always fun to be around? Are you really funny? Are you really good at telling jokes and making people smile and have a good time? Like, what kind of person are you in these partnerships? I want you to plan for who you will be. Plan for who you will be when you get that desire. Plan for the type of qualities and characteristics you are going to display, and plan for the emotional experience that you will have. Plan for what is it going to feel like in your body? What is it going to feel like in your mind? What is your inner dialogue going to look like when you have that thing you desire? Because I will tell you this time and time again, it is not the achievement of the desire that makes you happy. You only think it will make you happy. What you're really telling yourself is, I can only give myself permission to feel happy when I've lost this amount of weight. Or I can only give myself permission to be happy when I make this much money. Or I can only give myself permission to be happy when I'm married to this person, to my specific person. And I mean, I can totally relate to that mindset. I totally understand why maybe you feel that way, because I went through that very much most of my life, in fact, in all areas of life. Like I know exactly what it feels like to think that when you have the thing, you will feel better. But I'll tell you this, I lost over 80 pounds and I still had a lot of the same struggles in my self-concept at my first goal weight. So even after losing those 80 pounds, I still had low confidence in certain areas of my life. Now, was my body smaller? Yes. Did I enjoy the accessibility to different clothing that I was not able to wear when I was wearing plus size clothing? Absolutely. Did I feel proud of myself that I lost the weight? Yeah. However, it wasn't this cure to my unhappiness. It didn't fix any problems that were unrelated to being a smaller size, being a smaller dress size, right? So that lesson really taught me it's not about how my body looks, it's about how I love myself. And in part, when I was losing weight, I was pouring a lot of love into myself. But the point I'm making is that just because I hit that goal doesn't mean that suddenly all my problems were solved. And the same goes for business, right? Last year I hit my first subscriber count goal, which was 2,500 subscribers. I'm still holding strong. And I did a lot of changes in my business that helped me to feel really confident in my ability as a coach. And honestly, I'm really grateful to have helped all the people I've helped. However, it didn't really quench my thirst in terms of what I truly desire in business, because I kept moving the goalposts. And this is the second thing that happens, is when we do end up achieving our goals, sometimes all we do is celebrate for like 2 seconds and then move on to the next goal. And a lot of times this happens because we think that the mission is to just keep improving. And there's definitely some, there's merit in that. You know, there's a good quality in someone who really does strive to keep moving the goalposts and keep growing. I think there's a time and a place for that. However, it's also important that we actually revel in what we've accomplished, instead of just jumping right off to the next goal. And a lot of times the reason we move to the next goal is because, again, it's coming back to that same principle of like, we're not really satisfied when we accomplish these things. And, you know, the same goes for in romantic partnerships. Like, I was able to manifest my specific person. We got married last year, and in doing so, like, of course I was genuinely happy, and I felt really proud that I was able to manifest that type of thing for myself. And especially like after the relationships I had been in, it was a breath of fresh air to be able to so easily call in love and have a much more positive experience with it. Not that it was entirely perfect, but it definitely showed that I have made progress with my self-concept. However, once again, being married to my specific person wasn't this magical cure-all, fix-all thing. I was still a human being, right? I'm still a human. I still have problems. I still have stress. I still have day-to-day doubts, fears, insecurities that I have to continually work against. You know, I have to process them and give them better meanings and elevate my self-concept. The process of elevating your self-concept truly never stops. And, all of this to say, right, I've given 3 examples of how I have reached major milestones, like big lifetime goals, pretty big accomplishments, achievements, at least in my perspective. You have your right to your opinion if you think it was no big deal, but for me, those things were a big deal. And even in achieving those things, right, my underlying self-concept issues were still there. All of the things that those achievements couldn't fix were still there. And that's largely because in my planning, when I sat down and made the list of things I wanted to do, including the weight loss and the business goal and the specific person goal, getting married, having a family, etc., I was only planning for the achievement of the desire. I was only planning for the material success. I was only planning for being able to check those boxes off of my list, so to speak. I didn't plan for how I would feel afterwards. I didn't plan for the long-term success of those things, right? So as soon as I hit my 2,500 subscribers, I think I celebrated for maybe a month, maybe just under a month. And I was really happy about it. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. Because for those of you who don't know, I used to have a different coaching business, but I did most of my coaching on Facebook. I did have a YouTube, but I wasn't really invested in it. And I never really stuck with YouTube. So 2,500 subscribers, although it may be a small subscriber count to most people, for me, that was the first time I ever hit that goal. And that's why it was a big deal. And I gave myself the time to celebrate. However, hitting that goal didn't really change me as a business owner. It didn't really change my approach to business. It didn't really upgrade my self-concept at all. It was like, okay, yeah, I manifested that. Okay, what's next? No big deal. And I know it's kind of contradictory to say that it was a big deal for me, but that's kind of all it was. It was just 2,500 subscribers. It doesn't mean anything more than that to me. It didn't give me this profound wave of elation and pride for very much time at all. And largely, again, this is because when I was manifesting that goal, I was just thinking about the number. I wasn't really painting a full picture of this is how I'm going to feel and this is what it's going to mean to me. And I wasn't really digging deep into the long-term impact of that. And I'm sorry if I've lost some of you in this conversation. To be fair, I've got mom brain. Things are not functioning very precisely the way that they used to be. So if I sound a little bit scrambled, my apologies. I am taking things a little bit slow as I recover and jump back into business after my hiatus and spending time with my family. But anyways, I digress. The point that I'm making here, and really I want to drive this in, if there's nothing else you take away from this episode, plan for the emotional experience and plan for the long-term effects of that desire. Don't just think about the wedding. Think about the rest of your life with that person. Don't just think about, getting the raise or promotion at work or hitting the goal in your business. Think about what it's going to feel like to be a successful business owner or to be a successful, employee in whatever position you're pursuing. If you have a weight loss goal, don't just think about what your body's going to look like at that weight, but think about how good are you going to feel about yourself? How proud of yourself are you going to remain long term after you hit that milestone? Because so often we are really quick to just set another goal and set another goal and set another goal and plan for those goals, plan for those milestones. And when we reach those goalposts, right, it's kind of like, woo, little celebration. And then it's back to the grindstone, back to the normal, state of being. And I wish that I would have done this sooner, but obviously this is just part of my evolution. This is where I'm at now. But now, my plan for 2025 is all about how do I want to feel. It's not about the goals anymore. It's not about the external progress, right? Of course, I am postpartum, so I do have a weight loss goal. I do have a number on the scale. I do have a pant size I'd like to fit back into. And I know that that's going to feel great when I do it, but the point is not the physical goal itself. The point is not the number on the scale or the pant size or whatever. It's how does my body feel when I look at myself in the mirror every single day and I see that version of myself? How does my husband see me when he looks at me and that's what my body looks like? And how do I feel about myself when he looks at me that way, right? How do I feel when I am wearing those clothes that I love so much and expressing myself through fashion in a way that feels good to me? How do my friends see me, especially if they also have weight loss goals, if they also are working on their body and their physical health? And how does my body feel day to day? How do I feel when I get up out of bed in the morning? Does my body feel well lubricated and young and, fruitful? Do I feel really exuberant and beautiful and healthy? Like, that's what I'm investing in. The goal for me, the plan is to feel good every single day long after I have hit those milestones. And that's what I'm encouraging each and every one of you to do with your goals this year. Instead of only focusing on the physical representation of that manifestation, right? Instead of just focusing on the numbers and, the appearances of things or the possessions, the materialistic side of things, I really want you to invest. And I highly recommend this because in my experience, it's much better when you do manifest from an emotional state. I want you to paint the picture of a beautiful life with all of the emotions, all of the sensations, all of the smells and sounds and sights and feelings inside and outside of your body. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to have the life that you want? And plan for that. Plan for the bliss and the excitement. Plan for the adventure and the freedom. Plan for the motivation, the ambition. Plan for the excitement of everything. Plan for a smile on your face as you get up out of bed every morning. Plan for gratitude. Plan for the feeling of all of your goals have been accomplished, but that's not what makes you happy. You're happy because you deserve to be happy. You're happy because you enjoy being a happy person. You love having a smile on your face. You love to look around at your life and feel so much gratitude. And it's a practice. It really is a practice, but plan for the feeling of it all. Don't just plan for the stuff. And the stuff is nice. I'm not saying you're not allowed to desire stuff. We're human beings in a physical experience. Of course we like stuff. We like our creature comforts here. And there's nothing wrong with that. But plan for the feeling. Plan to feel good this year. Plan to feel on top of the world. Plan to feel like your best self. Plan to feel like the happiest woman in the world because you are amazing. Not because you have an amazing life, but because you are an amazing human being. And plan for all of the feelings that you never thought you could have on a regular basis. I know a lot of you coming to my channel have maybe been able to experience joy and happiness from time to time, but I want you to make it a lifestyle. You're not just happy some of the time. You're not just grateful some of the time. You are grateful and happy all of the time. All the freaking time, because it's amazing, because you have an amazing life, because you are an amazing person, because you get to live in this amazing world, and you get to be surrounded by people who love and appreciate you, and you get to feel good. And as Amanda Frances says, the better it gets, the better it gets. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Mindset to Manifest podcast. I truly hope and intend that this has helped you. This has helped you to make a plan for your manifestation, whether you're watching this in February of 2025 or long after. The lesson still applies to manifest from a place of understanding. It's not about the thing or the milestone or the number that represents the manifestation. It is about the feeling you are embodying, the person you are being, the avatar you are creating. So again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the Confidence Club Premium membership. I love you all so much, and I appreciate you for being here today. And my baby is waking up, so I'm going to go attend to him. Love you all. Bye.